Okay guys, now in this video we're going to talk about the touch command. Now you can use the touch command in creating and modifying timestamp of files, and you can also use the touch command in creating empty files. So let's say for instance you want to create a file or a text file that you would like to edit later. Now if you want to do this using the graphical user interface, you'd have to do that in a folder or anywhere you can find your text file easily, right? Now we are going to do this in the code folder, the folder we created in our previous video. So let's launch it. Okay, so now in your folder, all what you have to do is just right click and select new, and then you select your text file. Now this is an empty file, so you just give it a name, Codetopia. So now you can launch and edit your empty file later. So as you can see, it's empty, so you can just add some contents right here. So this is Codetopia. Alright, so now we don't want to do this using the graphical user interface. We want to do this using the CLI, that is the command line interface. So now let's get rid of this file. Let's delete this empty file and close our directory. Okay, so now I want to do this using the command line interface. So you have to navigate to the directory in which you want to create your content. So as you can see, we are on our desktop, or we are in our desktop directory. So you can verify this by running pwd. Alright, so now you can see it says desktop. So all what we need to do is navigate to the folder. So cd and then code, that's the name of that folder. But before that, you can list and verify whether you have your folder in there. So as you can see, we have code right here, so we can go ahead and change directory to that folder. So as you can see, we are in code now. So let's clear our screen. Alright, so now since we are in our code directory now, let's go ahead and create our empty file. So let's launch this just to see the changes. Alright, so now, anytime you want to create an empty file, let's say a text file or a Word document, an empty Word document, or whatever you want to create related to document files, you can do that using the touch command. So you just write touch, that is the command we want to execute. So we write touch, and then you bring a space, and then you bring the name you want to give to um, your file, or you just bring the file name, right? So now we want to create a text file, an empty text file called code, which is a text file. So we write code and then dot. Now don't forget the extension if you are creating files, right? So we bring .txt. So now this tells us that this code file is a text file. So now when you press enter, you can see we have a text file right there named code. Okay, so now you can also create multiple empty files using the same touch command. So all what you need to do again is run the touch and just bring your file names, right? So now let's create two empty files, one a text file and one a Word document. So the first, we are going to call the first one Codetopia, which is a text file. So codetopia.txt, and then you bring a space, and then you bring the name for the other file as well. So we're going to call the second file coding dot dwcx, right? So now this is the file extension for Word document. So you press enter, and as you can see in our folder, we have two extra empty files that are all document related files. So we have our Codetopia being a text file, and we also have our coding, that is a Word document. So now this is how you can use the touch command in creating empty files, guys. See you in the next session.